Welcome back to the Wizard Shop, and today it's time for more high seas adventures. Well, there's no water yet, but there will be soon, and we got to get going on this thing. We've got some updates on this. Let's take a look. So we've promised you guys a yacht video for quite a while now, and finally you get one. We've got some updates going on the yacht. We've made some progress, and we're going to show you guys exactly what we got going on. Let's head on over and see what Mrs. Wizard has going on.
So, welcome back to the inside of the boat, guys. It has been really busy lately, and to be honest, it's kind of been hard to be motivated to work on a boat when we've had that subarctic blast here. We have been dealing with sub-zero weather, and so it's not been too much fun working in here, to be honest, but I've made some headway. I've got the curtains done, most of them. I've got one more to do, and I'll show you that one in just a second. But without having any pattern, there was no curtains here to begin with, and even the hardware wasn't even here. I found like bits and pieces of broken stuff. I was like, what is this? But if we look over here, so as you see, I've got the curtains here, and I've actually added snaps to the wall. So I found some snaps and I was like, oh, well, that would be handy to have in other places. And so now we can have some privacy and slowly bring these guys back. Now, the fabric I chose, I didn't actually buy. You can't buy curtains like this. 1990s curtains for a boat with special little adapters, not happening. But, so I bought blackout curtains. And it's the same on both sides. So it's really a cool fabric, and adding the snap to it lets it keep the, the light out. Because again, this is, all these angles. The last thing I want to do is whoever gets to sleep on the kitchen table, we really don't need them to be, having blinded by the light. Now, let's go ahead and check the V-berth. Those curtains are even more different. So I stole a camera from the Wizard, and you'll see I have new curtains here, and they have these little bitty rollers on them, tiny little rollers. And again, this is that same curtain, same kind of material, front and back. It's that nice gray color, and they will go across the entire front section. So whoever gets to sleep up here in the V-berth actually will have nice curtains that go to the middle and go to the middle and block out. It'll be great. We're foreseeing that our daughter will probably be the one to stay back here because, well, it's such a weird shape, and she's shorter than us, so she probably will fit better in this space, and she kind of thinks it's cool to have these kind of fun sides. So up here as well were these little itty bitty windows, and these are the funkiest size. They're these little itty bitty things. And again, nothing. The only thing I had to measure were these little grommets, and I was like, okay, so I'm doing the best I can to try and measure. And again, anytime I would get anything constructed, the sewing machine's in the office, so I had to walk across the entire shop. Oh, this works. Go back and forth a few times to make sure everything fit just right. Now, I've got one more spot to show for curtains. Let's go take a peek in the head. Here we are in the head, and again, we obviously don't need a window if we're going to be doing something in here. So we need to have this have a little more privacy. And lo and behold, just a simple curtain. I don't have any snaps on this one because I just don't think nobody's going to be hanging out that close to the edge, and nobody's going to be looking in anyway because the counter's in the way. So that is the last curtain I've got installed. Let me show you the one I still have to work on. So here we are in the midsection, and this is the space that I have for the last curtain. One reason I haven't done it yet is I had to order another curtain because I had run out of the curtains that I had bought. Okay. The second reason is this is going to be a little bit more challenging and taxing. Those were pretty easy. That you put them on the top and they hang down. That's pretty easy. Here they have rollers just like we did in the V-berth section up here and down here. And so I need to make sure that I got that exact precise amount without being, obviously if I'm too long, I can trim it a little bit and sew a little bit. I can't be too short, so I've got to be careful. I don't want to waste the material that we've got. So that's where I'm at with my updates. This took a couple of days of my winter break, but back to the classroom doesn't leave a lot of time to be working in the boat. Let's go see what the Wizard's up to.
So here we are in this area where you guys have seen me remove the hot water heater. It was full of sewage, nasty looking, I don't know what it was, and I really don't want to know what it was. But that old water heater is in the scrap pile, it's gone. I was able to buy one of these. It's called Whale Seaward out of Whittier, California. It's a good brand. This one's used, but it's guaranteed good, pressure tested. I got this for a couple $100. This is actually a marine water heater. The reason why I bought this one is because it has our normal hot water and cold water hookups with the wiring that's made for marine setup. But on the back, you guys remember I talked about the heater hoses that are down here that come from the engine. And I was concerned about what am I going to do with those? This is made to utilize those heater hoses, just like the original one was. So engine heat can be used to heat the water on here if we don't have shore power, which is a really cool feature. I was looking at brand new ones of these and they were very expensive. This one's guaranteed good for $200. The guy said if you hook it up and something's wrong, send it back, you'll get your money back. So I have no question that this will be a good unit. So this is a good brand, Seaward, and it is made exactly almost the same dimensions and the same hookups as what I had already. So it just made sense to go ahead and purchase this one. I'll go ahead and lower it down in the hole and then we'll move on to the next thing. We'll just set it down in there for now, but I will eventually get that all hooked up. It just came in today, so that's why I haven't had time to hook it up. So you guys remember in a previous video we removed the water reservoir out of here, and what I thought would be clean water still left in there was also, it looked like sewage. It was nasty. It was so nasty that I decided I don't care about cleaning it or bleaching it or anything like that. I'm just going to get rid of it. I actually have someone who wanted it, and I think I'll be shipping it to them. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I wouldn't use it. It's gross. I found one on eBay that's almost identical, and it will fit right where this one goes, all the same fittings. You guys also remember the original water pump that's used to provide 40 psi of pressure for the sinks or whatever else is in here. This thing looks like it was found in the bottom of a sewer. It basically was, and the motor is locked up. This one's going in the garbage. I have purchased a brand new one. This one's made by Seaflow. This is a professional grade. It's 40 psi and 12 volt, and it comes with all the fittings I'm going to need to hook it up. To hook on the sides there. And I will mount it exactly where the old one went, and I'll have a nice new clean one. So when we're out on the water, we can pump fresh water out of the reservoir and have 40 psi just like we're at dock with dock pressure. If you'll look through this hole down here, I'll kind of put it in the area where it's supposed to go, which was right in here. So that is definitely next on my list. But today we're going to be putting in a bilge pump, and let me talk about the bilge pumps. So before in a previous boat video I showed you guys these cheap, I don't know if they're Chinese, I don't know what they are, but these are 1100 gallon per hour automatic float bilge pumps, and many of you were quick to comment that says, Car Wizard, throw those in the trash, those are junk, they probably don't pump enough water and they'll probably fail right when you need it most. I definitely don't need this nice yacht at the bottom of the lake, so I went out and splurged. Many of you said I should get a Rule brand. This is a Rule Mate with an automatic float, and it is 2,000 gallons per hour, not 1,100. Much higher flow rate. Let's take a look down in the bilge. So as you guys seen a minute ago, I have two pumps. One's still in the box, but the first one is down in the bilge. I'm going to install that today. It'll be kind of a high-speed camera type deal. You guys can watch me install this, and then we'll look at the finished product and talk about it. Originally there was one right here where we're at now, and there was one in the engine bay area. So I'm not going to install the engine bay area yet because I'm not done working in there and I don't want to step on it and break it. So once I'm done with engine work and running the shifter cables that also just came in, I'll be able to put the new one in the engine bay and be done inside of there. So maybe these two brackets here to hold it in place so it's not jostling around inside of here. It doesn't need to hold it down firm, it just needs to keep it from moving around. We'll go ahead and hook it to the bilge pipe here. So I've got my brackets on, tightened down to this wood beam. It's not going anywhere. Go ahead and hook the wires up. So we got that mounted in. Those are some custom made brackets I made out of some steel brackets for some other project, and they worked perfectly. They fit just in place. I've got them wired in with some weather tight connectors. I'll go get a heat gun and we'll get those heat shrinked on so no water can get in and bother those. The bilge pipe is hooked up. That goes to the side of the boat and pumps outside to the lake. So as soon as I get everything else assembled here, I'll do some final electrical testing. That one is pretty much mounted in and ready to go. All right, yacht fans, well, that concludes this episode. We've got one bilge pump in, we've got the reservoir and also the 40 psi water supply figured out. We've got the curtains taken care of. We also have the water heater figured out, what we were going to do with the heater hoses, what we're going to do for hot water. So those solutions have been found, and it won't be long before I'm done in the cabin. I need to hurry and get everything done because Mrs. Wizard's going to kick me in the booty and kick me out.
Yes, she is.
So I got to get those things done, and then we're back into finishing up the engine bay. There's a bilge pump to install in there. That'll be in the next video. We'll show you guys the reservoir, the water pump, and finishing up the bilge pump in there. So if you're curious what kind of tools we use in the shop and also on the yacht, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut. All my tools that are in the shop are listed there for sale. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button already, I really recommend you do that now. There's more updates coming on this, the 38 Oldsmobile, the 66 Malibu, and there's tons of more cars scheduled to come in here now that we've gotten past this Arctic blast. It was horrible. Thanks for watching.